Another clipping mask feature is when you actually combine two photographs together. And so that's what I'll show you right now. Here I have an image of a young woman wearing sunglasses. And what I'll do is I'll use the magic wand tool to select her sunglass areas, or the inner glass, the lenses there. And I'm just holding down the shift button. You can see here when you hit the magic wand and you hold shift, you actually add to the selection. You can see up here that it's actually changing. What we have here is the regular new selection for the wand. The one next to it is to add to the selection, so that you click an area, you click on this button up here, and you can continue to add to the selection. You can see here this is selected here, and as I keep going I can just keep clicking on to my area until I've selected everything. Another way of doing this is to hold the shift button down, is what I was doing prior to this. Okay. Another thing you can do is the one next to it is a subtractive or subtraction from the selection. You select this, and wherever you would click, it would take away from that selection. We don't want to do that right now. You can see there's a little minus sign on the wand there. And then the last one is an option for the intersection. But so we want to add to. Now, normally, I'll just leave it at new selection and just hold the shift button down. You can see by doing that, we toggled to the plus sign, and that means you keep adding. Like if I wanted to add onto her hair as well to this, but we don't want to do that. So I'm going to undo that last step. And so now I have her lenses selected pretty cleanly. And what I'm going to want to do is add a photograph in there. So we have the illusion of a reflection that's happening inside of her glasses. And so what I'll do is find another image. And the first one I'll select is this one here of a kind of a sunset, sky sunset there. And what I want to do is select all. So I'll select the entire image there. Then what I would like to do is copy it. So we want to copy, which is Control-C, and that'll copy the image. And now I'll just go ahead and drop that out. And what we'll do is paste it into here. And this will create an automatic clipping mask. And so here I'm going to go Edit, and we'll say Paste Into. So it'll paste it into the selection that we just made. And so here we go. And I'm going to get the Move tool. Just hit V on your keyboard, and that will happen. See, it's a little small for the eye, for the glasses, and so what we want to do is to fill the whole thing. And so we can simply hit Control-T or Command-T on the Macintosh, and that's Free Transform. And so I'll hit Free Transform, and we could pull it straight out, a long ways, if we wanted to, and just move it over. I want to focus mostly on the not on the tree, but on the sky. And so we could do it in a freeway like that. Let's move it over just a bit more, and let's get rid of let's go a little bit like that, and we should have it right about like that. That's one way to have it. You would just move it until you like what you saw in there. You can keep moving it around if you wanted to have more of the tree reflected in there, whatever you would like. Let's go back just a second. Another option, if you wanted to pull out in an even way, remember when you hit Free Transform, which is Control-T, let's try right again, Control-T, we just hold down the Shift button. You see this bounding box here, would do it in an evenly scale it up, if we wanted to do that as well. So that's an option there. What we can do also is say we wanted to test a few images. What would look best inside her, reflecting or giving the illusion that it's reflecting inside her sunglasses. And so what we can do is here we have the layers, and there's another one called channels. If we click on channels, you'll see it actually breaks down the image into its RGB components. And so here we have, let's go ahead and click off here. So this is all the blue component. Notice it's desaturated. So let's add the green component to it. And then we'll add the red component, and that makes up the image. Let's click off the blue there. Here we have the red with green, and then the red with blue there. We'll put it off there. So you can see red and blue makes purple, of course. Red and green are kind of, they're making more of a kind of a yellowy orange tone. But here on the bottom we have what's called the layer mask, and that's the area that we selected, and it made that clipping mask when we did the paste in 2. And so we can actually click onto that and deselect the other ones. And we're left with this black and white image. And so we don't have to go through the trouble of hitting the magic wand like 5 or 6, 10 times in order to select the area. Now that we have this clipping mask, or this mask right back here, we can simply go in and just select the 2 areas. There, I've selected both real easily. And now once we have these 2 eyes selected, we can go back to RGB. Now if we leave the layer mask eye on, it leaves this red kind of here, so we don't want that. Let's go ahead and click that off, and we'll go back to our layers. We can see there how we have that area selected. And what we'll do is, let me pull in another image. Let me go ahead and grab this image. This is a reflection off of a building, so I'm going to select all, and then I'm going to edit, copy, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm just hitting, to get the hand tool, you just hit the space bar and you can move it around. So I'm going to go ahead and paste into that. And what's going to happen, which is nice, is that we actually have the 2 layers there. We have that one and the one I just recently pasted into it. So I'm going to make this one fit in the eye, or in the lens, in the frame selection, or make it fit to this frame. So I'm going to hit Control T for the free transform tool. I'm going to pull it out a bit. And let me just move it around until I get a position that I like. That's kind of interesting. There. Let's see what happens if we blur that out a bit. That's kind of interesting. If you wanted to, you could blur it out. You won't have to. I'll do undo, see what it looks like. I kind of like it sharp like that. I kind of like it sharp. And so here we have, 2 images that are, or mask clippings that are put into the lens. We select in an area and paste it into it. Let me just show you one more. Here we have, some bicycle, and we'll do select all. Whoops, select all, and then we'll copy, and then we'll go in here real fast, and we will paste. Whoops, we don't have this selection, so we'll go back and we'll do channels. Whoops, layers. Click on that. We'll go channels. We'll hide all of that and select onto that. And then select into that. Go back. Click off the layer mask. And now paste into. See, we didn't have that option before because it wasn't selected. So now paste into. And now we have the bicycle in there as well. So let's make this a little bit larger. Hit enter. And maybe she's dreaming of a new bike or something. And so we have those options, and we could hide, each one to see which one we prefer more than the other. And so that's another option you have, selecting an area, copying something from another image, and then pasting it into the original image. Got a nice feature.